Hey friends, welcome back into this new video tutorial with OSP Pro. In case you have not yet happened to subscribe my YouTube channel, this is a time for you to do it now. Remember, this is our third video and I'm going to be walking you through on how to come up with creating up a simple Node.js application. Now remember, to come up with a Node.js application, I'm going to just look onto and I expect this, all of you guys, if you missed my previous video, just make sure, and by the time of making this video, this was the recommended version, which I also still recommend you to use because I have all the dependencies of all the modules downloaded and installed on it. So I mean, you already have everything on it. This is the latest one. I don't always trust it because still have a lot of maybe preview or maybe it's in the beta mode. So I request you to have the latest, the recommended version. Now, on the other note, as we are doing that, let me just try to walk you through on something. So to come up with what you're going to come up with, I'm going to just create maybe a folder, maybe somewhere, maybe where you can have one. Check where I can have one. Okay, let me just create up a folder here and I'm going to call it node. So everything of ours, which I'll have it inside here. This is going to be node. Let me check. Did I not make any mistake? Okay. Let me just create this one here to node. Node.js. Okay. So that's where we expect to have all our Node.js modules installed, or maybe where we're going to be running off on Node.js. So we're going to be creating a folder inside there. Now, well, on the other note, I would recommend you guys to use Visual Studio. You guys, some of you guys already maybe know how to use one. I recommend you guys to use the Visual Studio. It's very good for building up this kind of applications. But on the other note, it's not a must. It's not a must because you may not be so that good with. You can as well, if you know it's so fine with you, you can just look onto having using something called Sublime Text. It is very simple to download one. Visual Studio, just a Visual Studio. You get? Yeah, Visual Studio Code. When you do that, definitely take it to the download link. It's not very big as well, so it's just so kind of light. It's approximately, I believe it might roughly maybe 20 MB, so 20 something or 30, not more than so much. I expect it to be so kind of less. Yeah, it's not that much, very big. And on the other note, for some of you guys, you can as well download Sublime Text Editor and download it. So for it just like 12 13 kbs, I mean MBs. I expect you guys to download any of your choice. Feel free to use one. But for this video, I'll be using some part. I'll be using Visual Studio, and some part I'll be using Sublime Text Editor. Reason being, it will be kind of depend on what you're going to be executing and what you're going to be coming up with. Now to save time, let me just get back here and show you one thing to come up with. Okay, so I already showed you guys. We already have this folder. So this is the folder we're going to be having, and let me just drag our folder inside there. Okay, I'm using Sublime Text Editor, so you guys should be okay with you to move with me. Now to just create up a simple project, let me just try to create maybe a project, and I just save it maybe hello world. Yeah, maybe hello. Just say hello.js. Remember we said earlier that JavaScript, sorry that not just JavaScript. No, it's come from JavaScript. So it uses JavaScript to come up with its applications or whatever you're going to come up with. I may just start with a very light one. Maybe if I just simply let's say maybe var, maybe something like maybe let me just say x is equal to maybe something whatever. Remember that, and for you to print out something, maybe I just have maybe just down here, I'm just having maybe var, maybe y is equals to something like that. Okay, you can always terminate, or you can ignore it, so it hasn't that much property like the way Python is doing or does. So if you just say console.log, this gives you a chance to deal up with whatever you're going to come up with. And maybe if I also want to find something like maybe sum here, I'm going to just say maybe sum for me x plus y, and definitely I expect to have that sum here. So I expect that to execute for us. Now remember this, if you write this and go to the browser, this is the JavaScript. If you just go to the browser, not going to pop up for the way it's expected. But I'm just going to check my directory. My directory is in F, so I'm going to just go to F like so, and I just say go to node. Okay, and inside node, you remember the directory we have, just have one directory in the node which is having hello. So to make it simple, I'm going to just say maybe cd for me. Not even a cd because I'm reading that directory. So the next, I would say the directory is called hello, like you've seen. So for me to execute that code, I'm just going to simply say node, like I've said earlier to you, hello, for me that, and I expect that to print for me the output as that. Maybe if you say maybe the sum is, you just come and join. That's how you join in Java. So I expect the same approach to work also here in Node.js, and then that's just going to be giving us the same thing as executed, as you may see. So in a simple time, that's how it works. So in a simple time, let me just get in and make with you guys a simple project in maybe Node.js, and that's it. So in simple term, to just print out something in Node.js, just make sure you define something on your own on top. Now that's just a normal JavaScript. There's nothing like Node.js introduced here at all. I remember talking about a little bit of, if I want to use Node.js, and I'm going to come up with, we're going to be using much of requesting up something on the server and responding to that something that you have requested up on the server. So this is going to be much of things we're going to be looking at, and let's get on to coming up with the one so that to see how it works out for us. Okay, so like I've explained earlier, so let's just look on to how to make a simple quick JavaScript application. So I'm going to just say var. Now remember, to deal up with the JavaScript, there's something you need to put in mind. We're going to be creating, let me just create this simply, maybe just HTTP, depending on what you want to define it there. But this should be requesting up from make it request from something called HTTP. I'm going to explain all of this to you, because JavaScript, whenever you're going to be pointing, whenever you're going to be dealing up with the JavaScript, make sure in your mind you're going to be using up HTTP to create for you the server. So, and I'm going to just say HTTP, the one I've just created, that maybe create for me, just make sure you create for me the server, and that's it. Create from the server, and maybe you can also define this as a function. This is actually a function, which this function takes three parameters. One is request and the other one is response, that we're going to be requesting from our user. And on the other note, I'm going to just say maybe res, because I'm going to requesting maybe to write, maybe if I want to say write for me something, let me just write a plain text, maybe if possible. Write from the header on what? I want it to be listening for me the header on 200, or I mean request for me the header from the success, and then maybe I put the content type to be just text, like normal text of a content. So the content type to be just a normal text. Content type, whereby you say, would say content type let it be Johnson. So this in simple term, I'm trying to create an array. So this is going to be just a simple text HTML, just a plain HTML text editor. So just a simple text of HTML. And on the other note, I may also try to say maybe still I'm responding. On the end of it, I expect it to give me something called, maybe let's simply maybe return for me hello world. That maybe I expect it to respond for me at the end of the day. And then maybe I also need to give, let me handle that as well. So let me just get out here and I listen. So this is very important. The port in which you're listening up, I will say 800, 800, 80, let me say that. So this gives us a chance to execute, whenever you could execute our Node.js application, just a node hello. This is going to definitely listen to our application on that given port that you're trying to make it run. Now remember, our port with the application, let me just explain this again for you. So our file, we have saved it as hello.node.js, which I expect it to execute for us this here, a simple hello. Let me just make sure everything's correct. So this is going to be variable HTTP equals to require. You see this require HTTP. Then I'm getting HTTP.create for me the server, which is a having function on our server here. We have a function, and then I'm requesting up this, then res for me as, then this res write header. Oh, there's a mistake here. Write for me head, which is head. So write head for us 200, and content type is Johnson. Just text HTML, and rest for me the rest dot end hello world, and listen to that port that. So let me just try again here, and I try to check. Okay, not for me that. So I expect that to give me an output. Good. And if you try to run this on the browser, let me just check it again. Let me just check it again, and I get back to you in the next video.